Hello, and welcome to Mean Reviews, No Stars Given, the only completely honest review show in the world. My guest host this week is author Rob Billiau.
Hello.
Welcome, Rob. Thank you for being here.
Don't mind my cat in the background.
Okay. I will. As always, before we get right into the first review, we're just a quick note about comments. We welcome every single one, but we'll only be looking at them after we review each book. So a little context would be extremely helpful by the time we get to them.
I will probably see them live because I'm just that good, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
I have to engineer the show, so I will not be
Yes.
looking at them. If you see one that's really great, just don't say anything until the appropriate time
Okay. Okay.
because we're not going
Uh,
to go look at it.
I'm
But
sure,
um,
it's a generational thing being able to multitask, but,
I'm no, what I need is a damn assistant that can run the all the other stuff, so I could just focus on the show. But next year, probably not.
yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
our first book to review is The Ghosts of Tantor. It's a mission. It's The Ghosts of Tantor: Missions of the TFS Pike, Book One, The Cassidy Chronicles, Book Seven. So it's like a double series. It's a
Double.
yeah. Okay. First, I'll do my synopsis. My one sentence, spoiler free synopsis. In this book, a bunch of characters from other Cassidy Chronicles books, joined by a bunch of other people, leave Earth in a gigantic spaceship to explore deep space. So it's a horror novel, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
I mean, who would want to
because they
be
have
out
to leave.
in the
They have to
deep,
leave Earth.
dark? Yeah. Well,
So
I mean,
I mean,
depending
right
on
now,
your look at things, maybe it's not a horror novel and maybe it's, a good thing.
well, right now, if somebody said you're leaving Earth and going to deep space, that would be bad. You'd be in trouble. But anyway,
Yes.
I mean, we don't have a ship like the gigantic ship they're on. But
Yeah, it seems like a really cool ship. I loved the way it was written, and it was pretty exciting to read about that ship.
very mean. Perfect for the show. All right. Let's get right to the things that we like. I like my friends. These are not my actual friends. This is the cast of TV's friends. My friends are different.
I like
They
those
may not.
friends too.
Yeah, they're great. I love that show. I grew up with that. But my friends are not like the friends on TV. My friends may not be attractive or smart
Well, I'm
or
one of them,
wealthy,
so
and
definitely not those.
yeah, and definitely none of them are all three: attractive, smart, and wealthy. But I like them all the same. It is comforting to have friends, and I like to have them around, complimenting me and telling me how they wish they were more like me. That's why it's so sad that Ghosts of Tantor didn't have any of my friends in it. Excuse me. If you're wondering, how could it have, when the author probably doesn't even know who my friends are, well, then you have a good point. You are wrong, of course, but you have a good point. The fact is, though, that the author, Adam Gaffin, knows a fair number of my friends. That means he consciously chose not to
Ugh,
include them in this book.
those
And
are
I
always the
assume in
worst
all,
choices.
yeah, and I assume he also chose not to include them in any of his other books. And he has a lot of them. I can only take this to be a purposeful choice by the author to deprive me of the comfort of my friends, which is quite mean. What did I ever do to
It's
you,
important
Adam?
to have that comfort.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So I have to give Ghosts of Tantor 0 out of 11 cool handmade friendship bracelets. What about
See,
you, Rob?
I would love one of those bracelets, and I've been your
Yeah.
friend for a long time, and even I don't have one, so it's kind of a
I don't
high
have one
bar
from
you've
you
set
either.
there.
I feel like we've got our Christmas all worked out.
Hey, there you go.
All
I'll
right.
bring the cookies, you make the bracelets.
So what do you like, Rob?
So, one of the things that I like, especially when it comes to space stories, is laser swords. I love the entire concept of having this beam of energy that just comes out and you're fighting off robots with their blasters and carving holes in things and stuff like I mean that's part and parcel with sci-fi, isn't it? I think it is. So I really like laser swords. And I didn't see a single laser sword or, robot battle with laser swords anywhere in this book. So I was very disappointed in that. So I didn't know what to think. When I got through there and didn't have a single laser sword in there, my heart kind of broke a little bit. So I have to give it one halfway ejected laser sword because it was
I
still
appreciate
space.
I appreciate how for trademark liability reasons you didn't say lightsaber, you know,
Well, yeah.
laser sword.
I mean, the House of Mouse, they can be quite brutal. So I want to avoid
Yeah,
that at all times.
litigious. Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
brutally
So let's move on to
litigious.
what we don't like. I don't like leaving my house. I mean, but not my house, but my property. I have a picture of it as it is now, a
Oh man,
barren,
that looks.
snowy wasteland.
Oof.
That's on the way up to the goats.
No.
Um,
Oh boy,
it's awful. There's like
you
almost
get to
3 feet of
trudge
snow
through
to
that.
wade through. I
Poor
do,
goats.
and because we're putting in the guest house, there's a trench dug for the electrical line to run through and the septic line. So now I can't just walk out and then up to the goats. I have to walk
Yeah.
all the way around the guest house over by the chickens and then go
Oh
up.
boy.
So it's so much more unbroken snow to walk through. Today was the first day. They just finished digging the trench. But
Is
anyway,
that one of those situations where you could potentially trip and break an ankle in the trench and just die because no one could hear you scream?
well, I mean, I have my cell phone. You know,
Okay, well that's good.
I could call my parents and be like, hey, come get me, 25 feet away from the house. But anyway, um, it is so it isn't that I don't want to leave my house. I like being at the property with my garden and my family, my animals, all my stuff. Because when I do travel, I prefer to be, going to a fancy hotel or resort with a staff
Oh
that'll
yeah,
do a lot of kissing my ass and spoiling
$400
me.
steak dinners.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So my favorite is when you go there, and even though you've never been there before, they greet you by name. I don't even know how they do it. It's both awesome and kind of creepy, but I like it.
You do wear a name tag everywhere, so
I
maybe that
wish.
has
I
something
wish
to do
that
with
was
it.
the law. I'm so bad with people's names and faces. I want everybody to wear a name tag. And for a while, I was telling people they should tattoo their names on their forehead. But after that whole Holocaust thing, people are real sensitive
Yeah.
about tattoo being, yeah.
And the
So,
upcoming Antichrist thing.
so now it's just name tags. I may be, libertarian and be all for small government, but in this one case, I would accept that law, forcing everybody to wear a name tag at all times. But um, so back to this book, The Ghosts of
Hmm.
Tantor, it's all about, traveling into the complete unknown. Um, I mean, personally, I don't want to go somewhere I'm not positive has a really nice bathroom, let alone into a place where I wouldn't know if there's breathable air.
But what would a space bathroom be like? I mean,
I don't
that
know, but
could be
that's
kind
only
of
on the
cool.
ship. If they go
Yeah,
out to it there, they go to a planet, it may not even have a breathable atmosphere, let alone facilities.
yeah.
So
The three
I find that
seashells.
unsettling. So my preference would have been if they all stayed home and maybe started their own gardens. I mean, that's fun, right? Growing stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're still a pioneer, sort of, just a
Well,
different kind of pioneer.
yeah.
And it's a lot safer unless you start a space garden, which sort of happens in the
Well,
book. But
hydroponics.
regardless,
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, it could be a lot safer, yeah. But it really depends on what you grow too.
What
Like
you
a
grow, how
4 foot
you do it.
carrot, what are you
I
gonna do with
wish
that
next year.
next year?
So
That's
even
exciting.
though I have a lot of complaints about the Earth and mixed feeling about this planet, I still have no plans to leave it,
Yeah.
which means I give Ghosts of Tantor 0 out of 16 comfy chairs in my living room. And that doesn't mean I have 16 comfy chairs in my living room, just that I think that's a reasonable scale of comfy chairs to measure with.
Sounds like you like to spend a lot of time at furniture stores.
Lately, I do. Yeah. But yeah, we're with the guest house coming. Yeah, we buying all new furniture for that. All right, what do you not like?
So I don't like sick kids, and
Ugh,
I recently
gross.
got back from a authors convention in Vegas to a house full of sick kids, and now I have currently a house full of sick kids once again, barely a week later, which is kind of a little frustrating because it eats into all of your ability to function as an adult because you have to take care of all of the sick kids.
How
So
many you
I'm
have?
not a, I have five of them, and so that's a lot of vomit.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's definitely a lot of vomit. Um, and one of the things that I noticed was these books have, we've got all the med bays and the people that can take care of you with the wave of a electronic device. So that made me a little jealous, honestly. It'd be really, really great if those people on the ship had to constantly deal with a lot of sick children and vomit, but they didn't. So I'm going to have to give that a, a whole one half full bag of puke out of five. Because
mm, delicious.
realistically, you know, vomit is a common denominator between mankind. And it didn't seem like they had to deal with it a whole lot. So the
No.
lack of realism was very frustrating.
So your kids have been sick twice in like 8 days.
Yeah,
I thought
it's
after they got sick and they got healthy, you had like this magic grace period,
well,
where
no,
they're
it doesn't work like that because they just go to
shame.
school with all the other kids, and it's just like this spiraling whirl of sickness that never ends. It's a whole lot of fun.
I hear what you're saying. Homeschooling.
Yes, yeah. I
Uh,
tried homeschooling once, but I slept with the teacher, and so we had to cancel.
that's how you got a couple of kids. Um, okay. Well, that is great. It is now time for things we can talk about that we liked without spoiling the plot. Rob, would you care to go first?
Sure. So I'm a writer. One of the things that I have a hard time with sometimes is dialogue, and I thought the dialogue in this book was fantastic. I really liked it. It was snappy and modern. A lot of the sci-fi epics that you read from, Hamilton and Asimov and all those guys. I know Asimov's old school, but I'm older than I look, trust me. They have this level of dialogue that is unrealistic, and I felt like the dialogue in this was just so good. It really kind of hooked me in. I liked it quite a bit.
Great.
Plus, then when they talked about the description of the ship, and I was like, "Oh, this is a cool ship." And, it was a great visualization there.
Okay. I like getting to see the characters from earlier books coming together to do something different. That was fun. But
A whole MCU
yeah.
feel.
Now let's get on to the actual awarding of less than a full star to the book. I give The Ghosts of Tantor, Missions of the TFS Pike, Book 1, The Cassidy Chronicles, Book 7 by Adam Gaffin, 1/4 of a star, because it should have been a book about a bunch of my friends staying home safe and sound. Of course, the title wouldn't have made sense then, but
No.
whatever. How about you?
And
What portion of a star do you give it, Rob?
I had 3/4 of a star lined up for this book, but going back to the title, I then realized that this has nothing to do with Tantor, the audiobook production company. And I thought maybe they had all died and they were ghosts, but it's got nothing to do with them whatsoever. So I went all the way down to 1/10 of a star because of that.
That seems completely fair. Let's
Yeah,
check
and
out the
reasonable.
comments. Oh my gosh. All right. All right.
A whole lot of comments here. A lot of people calling me saying I
Oh,
look like Bob Saget, which, he's dead now, so I don't know if that's good or
I think you look
bad.
better than him now.
Okay, that's good. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Just call me the Crypt Keeper.
All right.
Yeah, laser swords and space wizards. Yeah, that I guess you're right. That is science fantasy, not science fiction. But you
So
know what? They have laser swords and chain blades in Warhammer, which might be for science fantasy also. So maybe I'm wrong.
Nikki says that every great writer has cats.
Ah,
Um,
good.
and then Daniel Myers, who we're doing his book next, he doesn't have any cats, and that explains a lot, I think.
Exactly. Get a cat. They're like familiars. They come into your bed in the middle of the night, steal a tiny little piece of your soul while you're sleeping, and they inject some creativity into you.
I just want to say I do like Madeline Dale and Nikki Nelson Hick. I mean, they're both friends of mine who should have been in the book. Just
Yeah,
saying.
that's the problem. No friends in the book.
I do want people to think I have friends. That is true.
I'm one of them.
That's true. Rob is a real life
Yeah.
friend. He lives in the same town. We
Yep.
get together. We just went to dinner
Yeah,
with our
you
spouses last
we
week.
went to dinner. You got the goats from me. I mean,
I did the goats, the
yep.
chickens. Yeah.
Yeah. The
All right.
whole shebang.
I don't know what this is referring to, so we'll just move on. Although Daniel backed you up.
Out of
Really, there's a lot of
context quotes
fans
are
of
the
laser
best
swords.
quotes.
I think you really. That's funny. I like
Oh,
that. Um,
Nikki Nelson Hicks must have some of the greatest literature known to man with six cats.
well, she is a great writer. That's true.
So there you go.
Um, dang, I could really go for a hot tub. That'd be great. First, I got to build some houses, though. The hot tub comes
and
after the houses.
and
My wife would
shovel
be
some snow.
furious. She'd be furious. Wait, you
Would
got a
she
hot tub?
really?
Yeah.
Until she got in it, then she might not be.
No, she would still be. And yeah,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no, yeah. Okay, I would like to be, except for going out to eat every once in a while. And that is true. No one would hear you scream. So if I invite you here, think about that before you accept. That's true. The goats can hear you scream, but they don't care. They would
No.
scream too.
Well, unless you scream goats, then they might respond.
Yeah, but they won't care.
Yeah,
All they
that's
really
true.
care about is do you have food in your hand?
Yes. And is there a rock they can stand on?
True.
They do like standing on rocks.
Uh, okay, this is confusing because it seems to me like you do
Wait a
have a
minute.
hobby.
I am insulted here. Daniel Myers saying I look like Danny DeVito with hair. I will tell you, I'm almost 6 foot. I'm nowhere near
So you
his
look like
height.
two Danny DeVitos with hair?
I look more like Danny
Bob
DeVito's
Saget.
brother in Twins.
Oh no. Oh, you're trying to kill me. Okay. Okay. All right. See, yeah, Bob Saget. There's a lot of who you look like a lot of people, it seems like.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I also get a lot of, do I know you from somewhere? The answer is most often no, because I don't
Full
like going
house.
out. I like going out about as much as you do. So,
All right, we got to get out of here. We're eating into the second book. We're way
okay,
past these. These are just too fun though. All right. I need to focus here. Oh, okay. We're supposed to do our get to know Rob a bit.
getting to
Um,
know you.
Here, let me make you big.
Do you need some of
So
that
Rob, please tell us
focus
about
vector?
yourself and
Oh,
your
hi,
work.
I'm Rob. I write books. Books good. Yes. So I am Ron's friend. I've known him for a long time, and that's probably my biggest claim to great things in my life. But I do write books also. I wrote the Primeverse trilogy, which is a lit RPG series, and it did middlingly well, which was awesome. But then I decided I wanted to do something a little better than that, so I started writing kids' books. This is my current series, The Accidental Minecraft Family. It's a book series written for kids, 7 to 12 ish, depending on the reading level of your kid. But they're written for reluctant readers. There's like 30 6 books in the series or something, and then I have another Minecraft series out with 3 books in it, and another series out called Video Game Agents, which is about like kids instead of men, but it's like Men in Black with video games instead of aliens and kids instead of men. It's a lot of fun. I'm writing book 2 right now. In fact, I have a deadline of 2 more days to get it done. So it's a
Well,
great
thank you for
time to
taking
have
a
sick
break to
kids.
come be on the show
Oh, I needed the mental, I
since you
needed
had
the
committed
sharp
to
wit
it
of Ron's
a
humor.
long time ago. All right. And I guess I can make me big too. Take that, Rob.
Oh,
I'm Ron
ouch.
Lahr. I cook and bake. I garden, and boy, do I garden. I love old
He
cars, and I
does.
write. I write epic fantasy, like the 3 books of the Capaldi Chronicles. I also write humorous science fiction, like You Get What You Steal. And I also write serious self-help books like You're as Stupid as You Are Fat, How to Talk to Women. All my books are available on Amazon. Please do me a small favor and buy multiple copies of all of them. Thank you.
Yes. I only have about 50 books out, so please buy all of them too, multiple
Yeah,
times.
another small favor. All right,
Yeah.
it's time for book 2, Alejandra Rising. Nice. Uh, book 1 of the Knight's Trials by Daniel E. Myers.
Oh
Daniel
man, that's
sent me
nice looking
a hardcover edition
hardcover.
of his book,
Ooh,
which is a great start. And then he signed it.
that's awesome.
So you can
Yeah.
already tell he's going to get a better review than the book deserves, thanks to bribery.
Maybe even a whole star?
No,
Okay,
no.
good.
Let's not be crazy.
You had me worried
But,
there for a second.
I mean, it's still going to be a mean review. It's just going to be slightly less mean than it should be.
I mean, if I
Thanks,
knew that
Daniel.
bribery would work with you, Ron, then I would be bribing you a lot of ways.
You did do goats, chickens.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, yeah.
that's true.
But it was the book was a great birthday present. So thank you. Hey, remind me what you got me for my birthday, Rob.
I
Exactly.
said I would be on this show for you.
As you can tell from the cover, this is a fantasy novel, which is my favorite type of book. My one sentence synopsis for this particular fantasy novel is: in a book chock full of knights, this one non knight guy wants to marry this hot royal chick, which means he needs to win this once every 50-year tournament so he'll get knighted.
Wow, that is a great synopsis, especially the hot chick part. I mean,
Yeah,
whew.
really got you going, it seems like. All right, let's jump right into our likes. I like helping people, which means telling them how to be better. I have helpful advice for everyone I've ever met or heard about. Unfortunately, people are usually too shy to ask me for help. So to overcome that, I use comment cards. Uh, Sadly, not even every business uses comment cards anymore. So I've developed my own, which I have a picture of here.
Ooh, you don't keep them anonymous either. That is
Ron L. Lahr's
ballsy.
universal comment card. It has been designed for every conceivable situation. I mean, I shouldn't even call it a card because it's a whole sheet.
Yeah.
But but life isn't perfect, especially without my help. So here's the one I filled out for Daniel E. Myers. Oops. As you can see, I was dissatisfied by my interaction with the book. I experienced impressive ignorance, and out of graciousness, I did not formally declare David to be my enemy. Instead, I offered him the following helpful advice: that he should read some books or take a class so this never happens again. Sadly, I cannot share with you the notes I will provide to Mr. Myers because that would constitute literally dozens of spoilers for his rather large book. Suffice it to say, I urge David and all other writers to include their own comment card at the back of each of their books so that everyone else doesn't have to go to the trouble that I did creating their own universal comment card, even though it has been awesome and it has proven to be well worth the effort. So, Alejandra Rising gets 0 out of 1 extremely useful comment cards.
Now, do you recommend having the comment cards on the back of your book be perforated with postage paid on them so they can easily be sent back?
For your books, yes.
Ha!
Postage paid. Mine, no. No, they're not. No, I'm not going to do postage paid. But
I'm very curious to know what the police who pull you over to issue you a ticket when you're speeding around in your Porsche say when you give them their comment cards.
thank God that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
I
you'd have to have a
although
working Porsche.
my experience with police officers has been they are extremely receptive to constructive criticism about their job performance. So I think it's going to go great when it does happen.
Maybe with your skin tone, you might be correct about that. But a few others might not have that same experience.
I don't know. I can only
So,
speak to my experience. But what do you
you
like,
know,
Rob?
things that I like, especially in my fantasy novels, are mythological gods who use the people as their pawns to enact their will upon the planet. That's always been one of my favorite things, especially when you get to zoom into their headspace and kind of get a feel for how their perception alters reality. There was none of that in here, so that was very disappointing to see. You know,
I get it.
I
I get it. But
I
we're
feel like
running out of time, so we're gonna have to
okay,
run through these
let's
a
so
little
I'm going to
quicker.
give that I'm going to give it literally 0 halos out of 5.
Perfect. I don't like characters with names. Um, and by that, I do not refer to the fact that many of the characters had multiple names, as in more than three, uh, so that it takes a lot of time just to read all the names in the book. I did not like that, but it made me realize that what I ultimately don't like is characters with names at all. I now know that I like short, catchy descriptions like tall guy or rich brat or pretty virgin. These would all be names that could have come right from the book. I use this method in one of my books, You're as Stupid as You Are Fat, How to Talk to Women, but there it was mostly for legal reasons because I don't like getting sued so much. But now I think I'm only going to use nicknames in all my stories and novels. So no more getting confused when characters have similar names, no more struggling to come up with good fantasy names because that's always tricky. I think this is my latest writing breakthrough. Sadly, Alejandro Rising gets 0 out of several thousand descriptive nicknames without real names being involved. Um, so, what do you not like, Rob?
Well, I don't like when people try to rise above the station that they're born in. You know, sometimes you're a proletariat and you just need to stay there and let the bourgeoisie, have their way.
I feel like
And
that's all we need to say about that.
yeah, I would
I
agree.
mean, that is perfect. Yeah, don't get uppity. I think that's
Don't
you nailed that.
get uppity.
All
And
right,
that happened here. So that made me
real
frustrated. So I'm
quickly.
gonna have to give it 1/2 crown out of 2.
Perfect. Now we really quickly we're going to do things we could talk about that we liked without spoiling the plot. I liked that the main character was motivated by the desire to get married because there aren't enough pro abstinence and pro marriage fantasy books.
We
And
need more virgins out there.
I also liked how long the book was, which was pretty darn long. Um, and how about you?
I really enjoyed how the you got to see this group of characters that have been out partying and adventuring together for a long time through a new character's eyes. So they got to have their normal party dynamic without, pages and pages of exposition and backstory. I really enjoyed that. I feel like that's a good writing tool. I also enjoy
Me too.
Deus
I like
Ex Machina, and the convenient timing of the tournament was excellent.
that. Was all right. Let's move on to the ratings. I give Alejandro Rising, Book One of the Knight's Trials by Daniel E. Myers, 0.9999 stars. So very close to a whole star. Thanks
Ooh,
to the
so
bribery.
close.
And it's also a clear attempt to get more authors to send me physical copies of their books and swag and really money. That'd be
Money.
great.
Yeah.
Rob, what
I'm going to give it
portion of
point 0.1 stars because you got bribed and I didn't.
that is true? All right, let's look at the comments really quick. Although I'm not sure how possible that will be, but
Ooh, umlauts.
I I know you mentioned it,
Yeah.
but that's great comment. And although I feel like it's like 100 to 1 that you're Bob Saget, so
Yeah.
or that you look like Bob Saget.
I don't have his great timing. comedically.
I mean, you do now.
Yeah, Ron is a big hit with his comment cards at parties. That's why I make sure to invite him to everyone.
All right. Um, oh, wow. It, are you saying, is Daniel saying he's going to send one of his books to anybody who sends them their email, or just
That's what it
a
sounds
book?
like.
Because it just says an ebook. I mean, it could be any
Yeah,
book.
Dale Carnegie, you know.
Yes. Those are great books. Oh, and here, Jonathan says the idea of writing a children's/middle grade story that's both age appropriate and engaging sounds like it would be a challenge. But Rob is here to tell you it's not.
Yeah, I write them in about a week.
All the time he's writing them. Tons of them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I've written 40 in a year, so 2 years. Sorry.
I'm working on some children's book and they still have killing and cursing in them. So
That's
I
not
I
gonna
don't feel
work.
like that's a law.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
I mean, it's not, but
yeah,
it might not fly with the parents. Is my whole thing.
it's
Daniel
true.
Daniel did say that it would be his book that he sends out, so that's good to know.
Man, you're reading ahead. That's not
I'm
fair.
faster than you. You know, it's that age difference once again. Although you
Yeah,
do
that
read
brings back
novels much
some
faster than me.
that brings back some bad memories. I only got a free ebook. No, I appreciated it, Anita, and it was awesome. Um, all right. Wow. Oh, it is okay. So finally, I got there. That's wow. It's very nice. All right. Let's get back to
We're running over. See, I'm just so
this thing.
entertaining
Yep.
that
Yeah. This is this. I'm sure I'll get yelled at for this. Thanks, Rob. Uh, all right. Now it's
it's
time for the
it's worth
outro.
it to spend time with me.
Indeed. Okay. Here we go. Thank you for watching Mean Reviews, No Stars Given. Please like this show and subscribe to the GoIndieNow channel. I'd also like to thank
Rob Billiau
for being today's guest co-host. You were magnificent. Everyone should buy your stuff. I was truly lucky to have you with me here on the show. We should totally hang out sometime because we are very much actual, in real life, friends. I also need to thank the 2 writers or filmmakers who agreed to let us review their book or movie. You are very trusting, and I appreciate that. Even though their stuff is not to my liking, as evidenced by the fact that they received not even 1 star from me. I recommend that you purchase their work, even if it's just out of pity. So thank you.
for Book 1, Ghosts of Tantor by Adam Geffen.
And also,
For Book 2, Aleandri Rising by Daniel E. Myers.
you 2 are the best. If you would like to have your book or film reviewed on this show, please email me at ronlodellar@gmail.com. That's almost it. In fact, there's only one thing left to say, but it's an important thing. So remember,
It's always time to go indie now.